FinPower has the solution for sheet metal bending and shaping applications. Shape up with FinPower. The FinPower Express Bender automates complex bending and reduces tedious and costly work stages. The Express Bender fully automates the operation cycle from loading the sheet to unloading the bent parts. The sheet is loaded automatically onto the working table by a robot, where a manipulator pushes it against the positioning pins. The manipulator holds the workpiece firmly during all the manipulation phases. The inline Express Bender enhances productivity by bending extremely high-quality parts in an unmanned environment in any quantities. Sheet sizes and part complexity can vary greatly with a machine capacity up to 11-gauge material. The entire process from raw material sheet inventory to ready bent components can be completed in a continuous flow of lights-out operation. Automated fabrication can be illustrated by this fabricator, who begins with automatic sheet storage in the Night Train system and the advantages of the Night Train material delivery to the Shear Genius for punching and shearing. Then through the various sorting systems for small parts, while the large sheet goes into the stacking buffer robot, with a turnover capability to accommodate any special job application. And then loads into the Express Bender to execute the bending process in a virtually unmanned environment. The bending principle of the Express Bender is based on the following main components: 2 frames, the stationary main frame of the machine, and a C-frame with hydraulically actuated swinging movement upwards or downwards. An upper tool with hydraulically actuated vertical movement, CNC controlled, and a fixed lower tool for holding the workpiece in position during bending. Upper tool segments, which determine bend length. Upper and lower blades, which transfer the bending force onto the sheet. Key components in the material management of the cell are the very fast suction cup robot loading the flat component, and the manipulator placing it against numerically controlled positioning pins, rotating the workpiece, and, once all sides have been bent, transferring it onto the unloading conveyor. Thus, the entire bending process is automated, and the bending of components automatically continues as long as programmed. The bending cell is operated by the latest CNC technology. The CNC and the PLC exchange information in synchronism through digital input-output. The machine's main function, as well as all the axes involved in the bending, are controlled by the CNC. A fundamental characteristic of the Express Bender bending technology is the movement of the blade, or axis interpolation. The contact line of the blade and the material being bent remains constant. This is achieved by numerically controlled interpolation of the 2 axes that operate blade movement. The result is a curved movement due to the interpolation of the 2 axes. This solution eliminates surface scratching of the material. Optional equipment and features to meet your specific manufacturing requirements. The additional short blade is a dedicated blade for short bends and angles, or many-sided parts. The additional short blade construction consists of two numerically controlled carriages installed within the C-frame structure. Short blades are mounted onto the carriages and allow, for example, the bending of small wings. The option can be automatically activated and deactivated during the bending cycle. The bending can be performed either upward or downward. Therefore, positive and negative bending can be achieved even with the additional short blade. The integrated engraving unit is a roll-forming tool mounted on one of the carriages of the additional short blades. It is used for making a groove in the sheet to facilitate subsequent bending. In the standard bending cycle, short sides are bent first and long sides afterwards. This sequence can be reversed with a reversed bending sequence option, which forms two gaps in the upper tool, either symmetrical or asymmetrical, to accommodate the bent edges of the longer sides. The automatic tool change option automates the changing of upper tool dimensions. The system consists of a central transfer device, two CNC-controlled side transfer units, and a central tool segment storage. The side robots perform the course adjustment. When the dimension changes more than 6 millimeters, the fine adjustment is achieved by the central robot. The upper tool can therefore achieve any required length by incremental steps of 6 millimeters. Tool changing is more flexible with less process time due to advanced automation. The additional upper tool mechanism allows the changes of the upper tool mechanism by lowering an additional tool below the standard upper tool segments. It is often required for making bends that are hidden, when the bending point to reach is shadowed by the previously bent profile and negative. The possibility of using special tools provides additional versatility, like big radius bend, tube profiles, wide inward bending, holding of the sheet while pressing with the blades. FinPower's Shear Genius stacking robot provides the material management link between a Shear Genius punching shearing cell and the Express Bender bending cell. Its primary function is to load components either direct or with a buffering function as they are exited from the Shear Genius cell. It can also stack components on a separate pallet and load the bending cell from a pallet brought from outside the cell on the night train. With plastic-coated sheets and under conditions where material separation becomes a process instability, the non-magnetic material separation option eliminates it. The suction cup rows closest to the edges of the sheet operate at first to lift the edges for better sheet separation. Blowing compressed air between the sheets and additional steel brushes finally contribute to the separation. Capabilities include double sheet detection. The option is for standalone machines only. With negative last bend capability, if the last bend is made negative, the standard unloading process becomes a challenge. With the negative last bend option, such components are unloaded by a carriage that pushes them laterally out. Instead of the standard table, a tilting unloading table can be used. This table is designed to allow the bent panels to be unloaded towards the operator's side and grant a buffering function of 2 or 3 pieces. The innovative idea of the unloading and stacking system option is to use the loading device for both loading the blank sheet and stacking the bent parts. This automatic loading setup option provides automatic adjustment of the loading unit and the positioning bars on the loading table. It shortens setup times and facilitates the loading of a new stack. FinPower's Express Bender can be equipped with a material buffer system for bent components to prolong periods of unmanned operation. The components are temporarily held in vertical position on a buffer. Increased productivity solutions for sheet metal manufacturing continue to expand with FinPower's forward thinking and advanced engineering by integrating FinPower's NightTrain flexible manufacturing system with FinPower's automated bending cells. The NightTrain FMS is created in modules for any future expansion in your fabrication operations. Whether the application is a single module or a very extensive system, the NightTrain's Material Inventory Management System enhances productivity and cost savings. The robotic automation can finish the parts for any process outside the Express Bender application window. FinPower has the solution for sheet metal bending and shaping applications. Shape up with FinPower.